All right, gang, welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe, and today is our monthly booster box update. We're going through all of Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, and what we have released for Mega Evolutions. Uh, I only do this once a month just because I think if you do it more than that, A, you're wasting everybody's time, and B, you're just looking at things way too much. So, without further ado, let's get right into it, starting off with Sword and Shield base set. So Sword and Shield base set is still moving, which is kind of crazy, but started out at 362 last year, and we're all the way up 81% to 655. Not a whole lot of sales volume. Last month looks like 2%. Uh, Literally no sales in the last month. Last 3 months had 7 sold. Nothing too crazy. Our lowest listed is all these loose packs in here, $725 with $8 to ship it. I don't really think anyone's looking to buy Sword and Shield base set unless you're just a collector and you need it, but there's not a whole lot of demand. Next, we have Rebel Trash, and Rebel Trash is proof that even if a set is absolutely trash, it'll still go up. We're looking at right under $500 for a box, and this set is complete doo-doo. We have 2 sold in the last month. Over the course of the last year, let's see. Over the course of the last year, we're up 94%. That's insane. 250 up to 500. I usually stay away from trash sets like Sword and Shield base and Rebel Trash just because they're hard to offload, as you can see. 2 sold in a month, and they're just expensive. Back into Darkness Ablaze, another trash set. We're looking at just under $350 here. Quite a bit more selling. We have 10 sold in the last month, up 60% in the last year. And yeah, lowest listed is actually 315. But if you want a legit seller, you're looking at right about 350 or a verified seller. Another set that I stay away from just because it's hard to offload, and I think you'll see better gains in other sets. Vivid Voltage, I sold off of my Vivid Voltage middle of last year, which I was very happy and pleased to do so. And man, was that hard to get rid of. Up 47% in the last year. We have 20 sold in the last month with 1 selling per day, up about 5%. It looks like your lowest listed from a legit, reputable seller is $290. Again, all you really have is the Chunkachu, which Chunkachu is pretty nice, but we've been getting so many good Pikachus that I just don't ever see a reason to want Vivid Voltage or the Chunkachu unless you're just a Pikachu collector, just because there's better Pikachus out now. All right, into Battle Styles. Now, Battle Styles was the introduction of alt arts with the Sleepy Tyranitar and I believe the Empoleon. A lot of people are saying Battle Styles is undervalued and underappreciated. We're sitting right about $250. It's up 40% in the last year. Let's see what our monthly sales volume is. 55 sold per month, which is pretty solid, honestly, for a set this old. And it's pretty cheap, honestly. Average of 2 selling per day, and our first reputable seller is right at 260 bucks. I honestly am curious what you guys think in the comments below. Is Battle Styles actually undervalued at 260? Are you buying Battle Styles? And if you are, why? If you're selling Battle Styles, why? Do you think it's just going to be hard to offload in the future when, it gets to $500? That's what I'm thinking. Next, we have Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign is sitting right around 520, definitely not 220, with a 72% move on the last year. Started off at just over $300, so it's moved $300 in the last year, or $200 in the last year, my bad. Last month, we're up about 3%, selling 13 per day. And I mean, honestly, that's like the difference between a better set. When we looked at the garbage sets, they were selling 1 a month, 0 a month, 13 a month now with Chilling Reign. Looking at 520 with a little dent, 520 with a little dent, 526, no comments about any dents. So right around 526, 530, Chilling Reign. Next, we have Evolving Skies, and as you can tell, we're sitting just under $2,500. This is, I believe, all-time highs, or just about all-time highs. Let's see here. What's the graph say? It was just under 2,600, so we're pretty close. In the last year, we're up 100%. That's insane. Evolving Skies does Evolving Skies stuff. 16 sold in the last month. Again, that's the difference between a good set that people want. 16 sold at $2,500 is insane. Lowest listed from a legit reputable seller. Let's see, is there any on the first page? $2,485 essentially. Crazy expensive, and they still sell. I can't imagine how many sell off TCG Player, to be honest. All right, now we're into Fusion Strike. We're sitting at $950. Let's see, the last year we're up 115%. Fusion Strike was putting in work last year. Over the course of the last month, we're up about 5% with an average sold of 13. And our lowest listed from a reputable seller is 960. Nice, 960. That's pretty expensive. I think I might be offloading Fusion Strike booster boxes here this year. Maybe wait a little bit longer, but I think $1,000 a box is a pretty solid price for these. So I might offload a bit of mine. Haven't fully decided. Brilliant Stars is finally starting to get some love. Over the course of the last year, we're up 95%, going up from right under 300 all the way up to right under 600 in the last month. Pretty much flat, but we're selling 31 a day. That's huge for a set this old. It's that expensive. Lowest listed from a reputable seller, you're looking at $600. So let's actually look at sales on here. We actually have quite a bit of sales at $600. That's amazing to see. Everybody always said Brilliant Stars was underappreciated and undervalued, and I think Brilliant Stars is finally getting the love it's deserved. It has just such a good Charizard chase and trainer gallery with the evolutions in it. It's just great. Astral Radiance. Now, Astral Radiance, I believe, is still one of those sets that's underappreciated and undervalued, sitting just under $400. In the last year, it's up only 51%, with a huge spike from this buyout. Was that last May? And we're still kind of get our feet under us from last May. That's kind of crazy. Last month, pretty much flat, but still 14 selling in a month. Lowest listed from a reputable seller is 395, and they have two. Let's see what our last sales are. Last sales are right about that 380, 390, 395. So pretty solid there with Astral Radiance. Lost Origin. Lost Origin is up 94% in the last year. Look at this major buyout that just drove it from 380 all the way up to 530. And then this looks a little bit more natural. Sales volume dropped, a little bit of a buyout here. Another huge buyout to send it right back up. So we're close to all-time highs. All-time highs were just over 800, and we're sitting just under 700, or just over 700 at $730. Our first legit reputable seller with no damage on the box is at $750. Silver Tempest, finally getting to see what kind of legs Silver Tempest has. Silver Tempest is proof that you can have one legit chase card and still be a investable set, and the set will still do wonders. Because you got Lugia, I guess you also have Rayquaza. What is it? Is that a trainer gallery, I think? So you have Lugia and Rayquaza, and that's it. Phantasmal Flames, you have Charizard, and I guess Dawn. These two sets seem pretty similar, but don't at me. So in the last year, we're up 87%, up from $250 all the way up to 472, which is pretty much all-time highs. We're like $10 off from all-time highs. The 1 month graph is shot. Only 3 selling a month, which I think is kind of crazy. First legit seller without imperfections, 470. Pretty nice to see that with Silver Tempest. I still think Silver Tempest is going to be $750 to $1,000 a box, but it's probably not going to sell a whole lot. I might be looking to offload Silver Tempest soon too. That's part of the reason why I enjoy going through the booster box updates and stuff, kind of see what market price is, how much are selling, and honestly, once you start seeing prices get kind of crazy and they're not really selling a whole lot, it makes me wonder how many are exchanging hands in person because that's where I would try to be selling it is in person. And it's just cards just get too expensive and it really limits your market to offload stuff. All right, into the Scarlet and Violet generation, we're looking at base set, which rotates here in a couple months. 38%. This is kind of a crappy set. Last month, we're actually down, but we just started going through a big buyout. Total sold in the last month is 55. Legit seller, that's a defect. A legit reputable seller, 275. Pretty solid. Let's look at recent sales, 265 roughly. So Scarlet and Violet base set's right around 265. Not my favorite set. It's kind of crappy. I still have some of mine. I really think I'm just waiting for it to rotate out and see what kind of happens there before I offload those. I come from the thought process of I'd rather keep my good sets and let them run and then kind of sell off my bad sets when they get to a certain price point that's still a little liquid. And then I can reinvest those profits into either A, better sets, or B, new sets, and just kind of go that way. So next we have everybody's favorite, Mr. P, Mr. Paldea. And Mr. Paldea in the last year is up 96%, similar to the good sets from Sword and Shield. We went through a bunch of buyouts in the last year, but started off at 219 and we're up to 431. Not quite all-time highs. We're still about $40 off. Last month, we're up about 5%, with 51 still selling a month, which at this type of price point is fantastic to see. As we saw in Sword and Shield, a lot of the Sword and Shield boxes, when they get up to $500, the liquidity, the sales volume is just not there. It's just gone. Recent sales are 490, 440, 445, and our lowest listed from a reputable seller is what's that, 460, I'd say, with one, 460 with one, 460 with five. So yeah, right at 460. Obsidian Flames, I hate this set. This set is horrible. You will not catch me with this. This is the one set I don't own anything of. It makes no sense why it got so expensive so fast. You have a legit Charizard that's like $80 and that's it. Granted, I have a couple copies of that Charizard, but there's no point in having, in my opinion, there's no point in keeping your Obsidian Flames just because it's going to be so hard to sell. It's like Darkness Ablaze 2.0. In the last year, we're up 78% from 190 all the way up to 340. Seriously, Darkness Ablaze, or not Darkness Ablaze. See, that's how close they are. Obsidian Flames just surprises me that it was able to do that and it's holding value. Up 15% in the last month. I think this is just because people expect it to be rotating out with no more reprints, and people just want to put money somewhere, and these are the safe spots. 63 sold in the last month, and again, everything I've been saying, this is an outlier. They do exist. Obsidian Flames booster box with acrylic, you're looking at 360. 355 is the lowest reputable seller. And more data, the last solds are 350. Paradox Rift. There's a lot of PokeTubers with a lot of heavy bags in Paradox Rift. In the last year, we're up only 50%. We're down from this big spike in buyout that brought up to 325. We're sitting right at 270, and we started off at 180. In the last month, we're up about 8%. Still selling 43. I think that's just because it's cheap and it's getting ready to rotate out. Recent sales are 270s, 290s roughly. Let's see, the lowest listed from a reputable seller is right at 289. Moving into Temporal Forces. Now, I remember a lot of people saying Temporal Forces was a sleeper set, and I can kind of understand why. Just the Paradox Pokemon in it just aren't loved. If they had left the legendary dogs as normal legendary dogs, this set would probably be 2x, but they didn't. Up only 52% on the year with an all-time high of 275. So we're just shy of that. Last month, it's a little messed up on the graph, as you can tell, but 44 selling in the last month. View more data. Last sales are 265, 258, and 270, 270. The lowest listed from a reputable seller is 265. Now we're on to Twilight Masquerade with a new Greninja coming out. This might get a bump, or it might come down a little bit. I like the new Greninja, or the rumored Greninja, better than the Greninja from Twilight Masquerade. Let's see what we're at in the last year, up 45% in the last year. Started off at 218 all the way up to 318, up about 100 bucks. Still about $15 off from our all-time high. We're up about 3% on the month with 53 selling per month. Last solds are 325 and 320s. Lowest listed from a legit seller is right about 350. Stellar Crown. This is another set I got rid of. I dumped it just because the chase cards are pretty terrible. You have the Terrapagos, which was the original chase card, which is I want to say like 30 bucks now. And then you have the Squirtle and Bulbasaur IRs, which because they are IRs, they're kind of capped to how expensive they're gonna get. Granted, they are beautiful cards. They're fantastic cards, actually. I have both in a PSA 10, but I just don't think they can carry a set like that, and I think there'll be better gains elsewhere. So I offloaded these early, mid last year, I want to say. So yeah, I guess I did miss out on some gains, but I'm okay with taking the hit on the future gains just because there was liquidity there. But it took a while for me to offload Stellar Crown too. Just people did not want it. Last year it's up 42%, pretty close to its all-time highs, 286. We're at 280. Last month it's up about 5% with 43 selling. Sitting, let's see, last sale is 276, 290, 283, so like 285. Lowest listed from a reputable seller is right at like 290. I don't like Stellar Crown. And we still have another what year for rotation for Stellar Crown? Surging Sparks. Everybody's been screaming to buy this, myself included. Down on the year, on the month, we're down as well. More data. Sales are right at 250 to 260. Lowest listed from a legit seller is right at 260. I mean, Surging Sparks, I think, is kind of underrated, and I think it's undervalued. I mean, if Twilight Masquerade's over 300, I don't see why Surging Sparks wouldn't be. Surging Sparks has more depth. Pikachu, I think Pikachu's better than Greninja. You know, it has the Latias, Milotics. It just has so much more depth. It's such a better set, especially than Stellar Crown. Like, are you telling me Stellar Crown is really worth more than Surging Sparks? There's no freaking way. You got to be smoking something if you think Stellar Crown is better than Surging Sparks. You can at me on that. I will argue with you all day. Stellar Crown is nothing compared to Surging Sparks. Now we are on to Journey Together. Journey Together. I think Journey Together is a little bit underrated. In the last year, we're down 11%. I think it's because it's been out almost a year. So yeah, they're taking the original, whatever that is, pre-sale value. But if you take it from actual release time, 200 bucks up to about 250. Let's see what 6 months is. 6 months, not that great either. Last month we're up 4% with average of 67 selling. I think that's just because it's a cheap booster box, to be honest. Recent sales, there's a random one at 300, but 233, 235s, 255s. Legit reputable seller is going to cost you about 250 plus tax. Journey Together, honestly, I think it's a little underrated, a little undervalued too. Destin Rivals, and boy, has this thing been pumping lately. We're up 58% on the year. Remember, when things release, they're artificially inflated. This got down to, what was the low point? 244. I picked mine up a lot cheaper than that, but in the last month, we're up 20%. Look at that. That's a nice little spike, and I'll level out right about that 550 range. 141 selling at $500 a box in the last month. That is absolutely crazy. And this set is, I mean, how old is this set? It's not even a year old. When did it come out? Those are pre-sales in March. I think this came out in like May or June. Like, dude, come on. This is what, 8 months old? Come on. That's insanity. And your recent sales are right in line with that 550, 540. That's crazy. And our lowest listed from a reputable seller is going to be right at 540. Now we're into the current block, the Mega Evolution block, and this is Mega Evolution base set. I honestly think Mega Evolution base set is a little undervalued, up 2% in the last year, 14% in the last month, with 109 selling in the last month. Sales are right about 280, 273. with the lowest listed from a reputable seller at 285. I really think Mega Evolution has a lot of depth. I think this is way better than Scarlet and Violet base, and I think it's way better than Sword and Shield base. So we'll kind of keep an eye on what Mega Evolution does, but remember it's still got 2.5 years before it rotates out, so it'll be around for a while. Next we have Phantasmal Flames, and boy was I wrong about this. The Charizard just can carry anything, I guess. Last year, I probably shouldn't even look at the yearly chart. 6 months, still 8% down. In the last month, the chart is broken. That's nice. 56 have sold in the last month. Recent sales at 310, 325 across the board down there. Our lowest listed from a reputable seller is at 324. Phantasmal Flames is 324 booster box. That is absolutely insane. That Charizard really is carrying the crap out of this set. And I mean, I guess that Charizard is just that guy. It's just that guy. It's that impressive. It's that desirable. It's just, it's him. He's him. That's all I got to say. He's him. And finally, we're just going to take a quick look at Perfect Order. This is the cheapest booster box, and this is pre sale still at $200 a booster box. Let's see. I mean, there's been over 1,000 that have sold pre-orders, and usually pre-orders are stupid expensive. So at $200, Perfect Order might actually be MSRP. That's how crazy this is. Might actually be MSRP. That's absolutely insane. Never did I think I was going to say that, but there's just no demand for Perfect Order, really. I mean, even the Japanese stuff, like nobody wanted it. I had a few people buy it, and then outside of that, everybody's just like, nope. Well, gang, that's all I got for you. Head on over to my website, maxpacks.com, if you'd like to support, buy some sealed Pokemon products, or just smash that subscribe button and share the video with some friends. Help me out in the algorithm, help the page get monetized so I can start giving giveaways to the community. Join the Discord, and I'll see you guys on the next video.